Okay, so luckily I did finally tell my therapist some things, and she kind of caught on and called my mom. And as it turns out, I've never been to San Diego, and there were a lot of facts that were shown to me during that meeting that countered my delusional thoughts, and I became aware of the fact that my brain had manufactured things and lied to me and convinced me that these false things were true. And that was extremely distressing and disturbing, unnerving. I was in the hospital, obviously, went to the hospital. Was put on Seroquel, which in a few days pretty much put things in order. But for a few days I was just looking at the nurses and I was saying, how can I even be sure I'm talking to you right now? I could be in my bedroom talking to the wall. How do I know? How do I trust what's real anymore? And for me to completely get there, it took months. I was very upset because now I really considered myself to be in that class of people that are really crazy. Scary. And, So obviously, by this point, I'm diagnosed with bipolar 1. I want to throw in a little family history here that came up with this my good psychiatrist that I had at this point. I don't know anything about my biological dad's family. He wasn't in my life. My mom, there are anxiety disorders, general anxiety, panic disorders, social anxiety. I'm not the only one that has that in my family. My brother has it, and with depression, and a cousin that was diagnosed with bipolar and then later told she had ADD, and I have a feeling she's questioning that. And that's another possibility. I'm not really sure. So, get to the weight gain, weight loss. I started at my first diagnosis with bipolar around 115. I ended at 168. I stepped on the scale that day and I saw the number and I said, I am not getting to 170. I will die before I get to 170. So I had tried to lose the weight before, but I'd always gotten so hungry in just like hours after I tried. But this time was different. This time I got angry. And I wasn't angry at myself, and I wasn't angry at the bipolar this time. I had always done it wrong and been angry at the wrong thing. I was angry at the weight. I was pissed off at it, and I'm like, I am taking you down. I'm taking you down. I don't care what it takes. And I started out with just compromises. Instead of McDonald's, I went to Subway. Eat at home instead of eat out. If I was hungry, I ate an apple before I went to something else. I'm going to do a bigger video on weight gain and weight loss. I pushed myself to walk. I started out small, and I increased as I could. I hit plateaus, but I persisted and had patience, and I lost the weight. And it really did improve my self-esteem and my quality of life. I had about 3 years of stable, pretty much. You know, I fluctuate a little here and there on lithium and Seroquel. We moved to a rural area, and magically within months my memory problems got better, my word problems disappeared. I don't know if it was the better diet, the better more exercise, something in the water. I think it was a combination of all of that and less stimuli. And because I'd been doing so well and I'd lost weight, the dose of Seroquel I was on was causing a side effect that wasn't really harmful, but it was very uncomfortable. It caused your blood pressure sometimes to drop, and in response your heart beats harder. And about an hour after I would take it, my heart would beat really hard in my chest. It was very uncomfortable. And so this is when I had just moved out to the rural area, and this doctor wasn't very good. But I was eager to get off of medication, and that was the wrong. I shouldn't have messed with anything. Anyway, so we decreased the Seroquel, and oh my goodness, I never experienced rapid cycling before. Basically, for 3 days, I was manic, and then I plummeted down for 3 days into depression. Maybe one day in between of normal. Back up, back down, back up, back down, back up, back down, non-stop, months. Even after the Seroquel was increased again. And I thought it was never going to stop. I had no idea what to expect from one day to the next. It was like, before my episodes, like, I would be manic for weeks, if not months, and then depressed for weeks, if not months. And here it was, just a matter of days for each, and the whole extreme condensed. Extremes, just, oh, I was miserable, and then sometimes they would overlap, and I would get mixed episodes, which were very dangerous. My latest psychiatrist, once we had moved here and I was able to do some research and stuff, and I really like her. She put me on Seroquel extended release, so I don't have that side effect. And it took a couple months, but I am now pretty much leveled out. Right now I am, if I go up, I just barely touch hypomania. I do have right now experiencing some depression, anger, irritability, depression in the mornings, and it kind of gets better through the day. Kind of sluggish in the day. That's where I'm at right now. As I said, those 3 years went by and I was doing really well. I was ready to get back in the workforce, you know, not nursing. I gave up my license for nursing because I didn't want to be tempted during a manic episode to go back in because it was too dangerous for me and the patients. I cared that much for the patients. So I surrendered my license. A lot of people don't understand that. My current regimen to keep me stable is, well, I take care of my other disorders and health. Social anxiety I'm working on. I go to a yoga class. That's also for the bipolar once a week. A book club. I'm starting to slowly get into social things, settings and that. Trying to get a social life, healthy social life. I read, keep up on the disorder, any new developments. I read books, memoirs. I monitor my own moods and events so I can, you know, figure out when I'm depressed because of what's going on, and depressed because of bipolar, depressed because of PMS. I take all my medication as prescribed. I talk to my doctor before with side effects and that, if I think I need something changed. I go to all my appointments. I'm in therapy, cognitive behavioral. I get